Live stream. Got it.
Hey, how's it going, Wayne?
Doing well yourself.
I'm having fun. I can't wait to get to talk to you about this. So I'm going to get us started. Hi, I am Daniel Lossie, and I'm Chief Century Thinker at Veritas Group. And I want to welcome all of you viewing and listening today to our Veritas Group's video series, where we get to talk about really cool topics like accelerating climate action and sustainability across our communities. Today, I get to talk to Wayne, who is awesome. I've known Wayne for several years, even before he joined the team at Veritas Group. He's been working in the zoo and aquarium world for nearly 15 years. With Veritas Group, he's a senior associate, and I love that he is leading several climate action plans with zoo and aquarium partners. He's also been on the Green Scientific Advisory Group for 6 years and is the organizer of this year's Green Summit in Long Beach. Welcome, Wayne. I am so excited to talk to you about the AZA Mid-Year Green Summit. A lot of excitement building.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to be able to chat today about it.
Excellent. So I always like to ask folks when I'm chatting with them kind of a more personal question. And so for you, I'm wondering, what's one highlight that you have working with zoos and aquariums? Anything. Doesn't have to be sustainability related.
The highlight. Well, as you mentioned, I've been in zoos and aquariums for nearly 15 years. I think 23 will be my 15th year. And I feel like that question always prompts, like, what's your favorite animal story? Like what? And there's so many of them. Like my background is in animal behavior, and then I transitioned to human behavior over time.
Is there really any difference?
Well, so classified as non-human animals, right? The complexity is quite unique across them, for sure. So there's lots of phenomenal stories. One of my favorites, particularly from the animal side, is the ability to spend time in the field and do conservation work. I got to participate with a group, a partner in Baja, on establishing their criteria for doing monitoring of whale sharks. And so establishing a program that allows for citizen science projects on an annual basis down in Baja. And so those kinds of stories, I've got lots of them with connections to field. But for me, I think what surprises folks is the people. I started from the animal side, ended up transitioning slowly over time, and actually ended up over a volunteer department for several years in one of the largest private nonprofit zoos within the country. And so for me, the highlights are actually the people and being able to connect them with their passions and animals. And just their interest in conservation, wildlife, wild lands. Like I love the animals. I was surprised by how much I've gotten excited and highlighting the people side of all of it. Yeah. But what about you?
Oh, I love that. There's always so much to discover when you're working with people and animals. So not having, worked at a zoo, but having worked with zoos now for over a decade and aquariums, I go to the animal, the animal side, and gosh, there are so many amazing opportunities I've had to encounter animals. It's hard to pick one, so I'm going to cheat and just share a couple. One was being able to stand in the exhibit with penguins. And like just have them being surrounded, and it's freezing. Like I was there in the summertime, so I had to put a coat on. It's cold. They like it that way. And then that same zoo that we worked with also had baby penguins. And so I got to go behind the scenes and see the little area where the baby penguins were and the cute little fluff balls that they are. And then meeting some reptiles too. We got a hold of a black snake. I can't remember which kind it was, and get up close and personal to a couple of the tortoises. Nice. So that was cool.
That's very
so many animals are phenomenal, and the people who care for them as well. So all right, let's talk about our topic. Mid-year Green Summit is next week. It's Monday, April 11th. So next week you and I will be in Long Beach with thousands of zoo and aquarium folks from across the country, and maybe even the continent. Tell me a little bit about GSAG, the Green Scientific Advisory Group. You've been with them for 6 years. Give us an overview, because they're the ones who are hosting Green Summit.
Yeah, so the Green Scientific Advisory Group is a collective of individuals from member organizations from AZA, as well as partners uh, to AZA organizations. And so the Green Scientific Advisory Group interest, and we shorten it up to GSAG, is in being able to work within organizations to move forward on sustainability goals or green practices. And so for quite some time, they were in this area of water, waste, and energy is kind of the primary metrics that we were looking to be able to identify, make changes in, really focus on innovations in efficiencies around resource use. And over the last several years, there's just been this kind of transition from water, waste, and energy as the primary metrics to recognizing sustainability from an organizational perspective and seeing the human resources side of it as well, right? So now we have, human resource professionals that engage with our team and network across organizations through the industry. This is actually the 10th year of Green Summit. So the Green Scientific Advisory Group, it organizes the Green Summit as part of mid-year. So if you consider that there's two main programs that happen for AZA member organizations across the year, one is mid-year, the mid-year meeting that happens during the spring, and then the annual conference that happens during the fall. And so during mid-year, the structure for both annual and mid-year are very different. And largely there's a focus on like committee teams meeting. And so you'll see like the Conservation Education Committee, you'll see Human Resources. There's time for a safety summit and a diversity summit. And so the Green Scientific Advisory Group puts together the Green Summit. So it's multiple days inside of the content for the mid-year meetings. And so it's a professional development opportunity. We've got sustainability professionals from all across the industry that are also, because we've been changing this over the last couple of years, pulling in their peers from across their organizations. So no longer seeing sustainability as isolated within like facilities or conservation or education, but a group effort that we can actually embed within the organization. And so we see groups from different institutions coming on site to learn together on different contents. And so really excited to be able to share this year's content.
That's awesome. So 10-year anniversary for Green Summit, and it was back, was it 4 years ago? 3 years ago that I first met you when Green Summit was in Phoenix.
Yeah, 2019, that's right, yep.
Yeah. So what are you excited about specifically for this year?
So this year, what we've done is we're talking about sustainability through its maturation curve. So if we talk about it as kind of starting within a compliance phase and then moving towards integration, towards transformation, we actually have examples and opportunities to connect with organizations no matter where they are in that curve and help them move along. And so this year, one of the new standards for 2022 accreditation standards for AZA organizations is the reporting out on 4 different ARC surveys. It's their annual report for conservation. And the green practices is one of those surveys. So in compliance now is this requirement to be able to measure and monitor what you're doing within green practices. And so for folks that have never done that before, we've got them covered. We're going to let them know what the new standards are. We're going to show them what it looks like to walk through the spreadsheets. We've got storytelling from folks that have already gone through the process before that, the first time ever they had to go around and talk to different departments and find out where the information lives and bring it all together and get their folks on board. And so we'll be talking through that on the compliance side. Integration, we're going to move into all the different pieces it takes to actually embed sustainability throughout an organization. That's going to cover procurement and purchasing. We'll talk about green teams or executive level sustainability teams. We've got lots of great examples before we move into those organizations that are on the furthest end of sustainability, moving from this place of like doing no harm to like we want to give back. We want to put more back into the system than we take through. We generally refer that as a regenerative space. And we've got some great examples from folks that are pushing into that transformation space, that regenerative space. Super excited about all the conversations we're going to have this year.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So I love being able to watch organizations go through that curve with the groups that we get to work with. And I love how you said, this year at Green Summit, we want to help organizations see where they are on that curve, meet them there, and help them understand what the next steps are, help take them further.
Yeah, it's part of the piece is being able to showcase what's going on within the industry. But one of the changes we've also made over the last couple of years is pulling examples from outside zoos and aquariums. Lots of times we see facilities that are large enough operating like little cities. And so you can look to municipalities for different examples for how they structure their initiatives. And so this year we even have representatives coming in from the city of Long Beach, our host city, to talk about how they implemented their climate action planning. So all sorts of opportunities to be able to move them along anywhere that they want to see themselves.
That's amazing. And that's integration, right? That's integrating lessons from different areas that are applicable, finding those things that really work well and replicating them. Cool. So one of the things I'm excited about is the closing workshop. So I was honored to be asked by you to help facilitate the closing workshop with my colleague Belina, who's been on some of these calls in the past. And what we're planning is super exciting because I think it really wraps up the day in a nice way. It's called Catalyzing Transformation. So really focusing on that transformation side, but taking lessons to action. So after 2 days of summit experiences and learning from others and networking and connecting with your peers, we're going to help you take those lessons and turn them into an action plan. So it's kind of twofold. There's like a meta piece where we're going to teach you a really cool action planning process, but we're also going to have you walk away with this very tangible piece of wherever you're at as the individual coming from your zoo or aquarium, identifying what you can do, because you can't make an action plan for everybody else that might not be in the Green Summit, but you can make an action plan for you to help you take your organization from where you are today to a little bit closer to where you want to be. So I'm super excited to be co-facilitating that with Belina. We're bringing in technology of participation, which is a proven facilitation method. We're going to teach participants a few of those methods so they can begin to use this methodology at home, at their home institution. So I'm very excited for people to walk away at the end of this 2-day summit with a draft action plan that they can go and hopefully implement.
Yeah, I was really excited to hear that was the pieces that you were planning when we had the opportunity to decide how to kind of wrap up the whole summit. I love the idea of being able to take in the pieces from the threads of each of the days, so lessons learned, and then wrapping it in to take home. It's a perfect segue to send them off that action piece. I really appreciate your intention and thoughtfulness in crafting that.
It's going to be a blast. So last thing, because we need to log off.
Sure.
For those who are going to be attending, Wayne, what's one thing that you want our listeners to do in preparation for and participating in the Green Summit?
In preparation and actual participation, the networking pieces. We intentionally design networking time throughout the day because for years that was the comment we got the most of. There's so much great content. There's so many people that I want to talk to, and we just run short of that opportunity. And so we put blocks, 30-minute blocks in between different sessions for you to be able to interact with the presenters and your peers from other organizations. So look ahead. If there's organizations that you want to connect with, start putting that on your light items. You can reach out ahead and let them know that you're going to Green Summit and that these blocks of time are available and you want to meet with them during those times. The agenda will be available on site, so you'll be able to schedule that time in. So use the networking opportunities. It's been wonderful to see the relationships that come out of that.
I would second and third that, right? It's about connections. Living systems evolve with information, and change happens along lines of relationships. So build relationships with your peers, make use of the networking, and be surprised, or maybe not, because you have high expectations of what's possible. And then for those of you who aren't able to attend this year, the GSAG will have a post-summit resource, and you can contact a member of GSAG for access to that. So Wayne would be one. And then our website, veritasgroup.com, will have a post-summit recap. We have some zoo and aquarium case studies available if you're looking for kind of like, what are other people doing? What can I do at my institution? So thank you everybody for watching. Wayne, thank you for being here. And for all of the work that you've put in to organize and bring the Green Summit to life starting next week in Long Beach. And in the meantime, if you have questions, reach out to Wayne, myself, go to our website, veritasgroup.com, to check out the blog or resources. And thank you again, everyone watching. Onward and upward. Be well.